Hello again. I spoke earlier this morning about the way in which the English language may be used to conceal meaning rather than provide clarity. Nowhere is this more evident than when Labour politicians are talking about immigration. Take the expression youth mobility scheme, for instance. Well, this sounds great, doesn't it? Because it hints at something good for the young folks. Similarly, mobility. Surely we all hope for our youth to be mobile. What kind of dyed-in-the-wool reactionary could possibly start moaning about a scheme which would make young people more mobile? While Keir Starmer was talking tough the other day about immigration, he was already busy lining up the next wave of foreigners coming to this country to take jobs. The European Union have been on at him for almost a year now, insisting that the only way that they will agree to his much vaunted Brexit reset is if he allows people from Europe to come and live and work here whenever they feel like it. It will be recalled that this was one of the reasons, perhaps the chief reason, that people voted to leave Europe almost 10 years ago, because of the huge wave of immigration from Eastern Europe, which led to parts of the country being colonized by Romanians. We voted against that, remember? Before going any further, it is worth pointing out that what our government means by youth is very different from what we mean. Youth, for most of us, means teenagers, people in their early 20s, and so on. For the government, it means men and women on the verge of middle age. You see, there is already a youth mobility scheme operating in this country, whereby foreigners can come and live and work here for up to 2 years if they apply for a visa. This scheme, which is, by the way, widely abused, applies to anybody up to the age of 35. 35. Hands up who would describe a man of 35 as a youth. See how differently the government uses language from the way that normal folk do? The first link in the description to this video shows the government definition of youth. This week, the British government is ready to cave in and agree to allow the EU to impose a new kind of youth mobility scheme on our country. This would mean free movement of European workers under the age of 30 who wish to live and work in Britain for 4 years. Of course, this is reciprocal, meaning that British young people will also be able to go and work in Europe. But this is, of course, a complete nonsense. Do readers seriously imagine that when we had free movement and Romania joined the European Union, that hundreds of thousands of British people were flocking to Romania in search of work? Or do they think it was all Romanians coming here for jobs? It will, of course, be precisely the same under the Youth Mobility Scheme. It will mean that anybody from Eastern Europe who is under the age of 30 will be able to come to this country in search of a better standard of living. It's easy enough to vanish once here, and what will happen if this scheme is signed off will be a huge influx of Europeans, more than enough to compensate for any slight fall in the numbers of care home workers from the Philippines, say. What Starmer gave us with his right hand on Monday, with that promise to reduce immigration, he is now taking away with his left hand with this new version of free movement within the EU. Ignore the window dressing and look only at the substance, for this is shaping up to be a classic bait and switch operation.